practicing sparring techniques, two-man partner work with drills, this is much more forgiving. In this video I'm going to be talking all about the foam Joe staff we have for sale at Enso Martial Arts. I'm going to talk about how it's made up, like what all the parts of it, who would use this, why do you want to train with this foam Joe staff over say a standard Joe staff, and at the end I'm going to put together a short little montage of people training with Joe staff. Hi, my name's Doug Swift. I've been doing martial arts for the past 33 years and the owner of Enso Martial Arts for the past 16 years. If you're liking this video, click the little icon in the bottom right hand corner, subscribe to this channel and get all the latest videos and updates from Enso Martial Arts. So let's get into this video and learn all about the foam Joe staff. So as the name very clearly suggests, this is a foam Joe staff. So it's actually constructed of a plastic core that runs all the way down the middle with a foam padding all the way on the outside. Now this makes it much thicker than a standard Joe staff, and I will give you all the dimensions near at the end of the video, but it's much thicker than a standard Joe staff. I mean, in a way it's kind of got to be, because Joe staff can be quite thin and being able to have padding on that is just not possible at all. So yeah, very chunky, in fact chunkier than say a standard bow staff that you usually get. This plastic core goes all the way down the middle of the Joe staff and it's actually pretty durable. So you can actually beat the hell out of this really if you wanted to. Now, a little disclaimer, the padding on the outside is not indestructible. So if you're hitting it against say metal weapons or walls or trees or smack it on the floor, you are going to chip it, you are going to break it. The plastic core is pretty strong, but again, if you're really hammering it to hell and you're going out of your way to try and break it, you're probably going to break it. Like it is plastic, it does give a little bit, but if you use this for what it's intended to be used for, which is sparring against other wooden weapons, foam weapons, in a martial arts setting, there's no reason why this foam Joe staff won't last you for ages. So why would you want to use this Joe staff over say a standard one? Well, because of the padding, it means you can do much more sparring. So you can do a lot more partner work, like whacking against fingers or arms or even heads is much more forgiving than a Joe staff. Wooden Joe staffs really hurt. You get clonked on the fingers or the head or the arms. You're really going to know about it. Whereas this, you can really go full pelt with it and it's not going to cause anywhere near as much damage. Now it's not 100% forgiving. If you whack someone full pelt around the head, it's going to knock them for 6, but it's not going to bring up a massive bruising, or it's not going to possibly cut the skin, but you are going to give someone a bit of a brain shake, so you got to be careful. But in terms of like practicing sparring techniques, two-man partner work with drills, this is much more forgiving. Really sensible weapon to have, say in a club or if you're doing partner work with someone. Not only is this good for partner work, it's also good for instructors. So instructors want to train with like kids or teens and you want to practice like say diving over sticks or swinging it under people's legs. These are a really good thing to have because obviously it's not going to hurt when it hits you. You can swing it at people, put them under a little bit of pressure and they get used to having things swinging around their head, get practice to blocking things, getting out of the way. So that's really useful tool to be able to help people get used to training against weapons or doing defenses against weapons. So who would use the foam Joe staff? What styles use them? Well, Aikido is very well known for using Joe. Now, in a standard class of Aikido, you might not necessarily need one because the Joe staff techniques they do tend to be relatively mellow compared to other styles. Although if people are ramping it up, if it was a bit more like Aiki Jitsu, you probably will want a foam Joe staff at some point, or at least be praying for a foam Joe staff if the pressure's turned up. Now, the styles like the traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsus and Ninjutsu will almost certainly benefit from a foam Joe staff. They tend to turn the pressure up much higher, much more intense, a lot more pressure testing, a lot more partner work and sparring. So yeah, the styles like jiu-jitsus and ninjutsus are probably the most likely styles to buy one of these. What other options are there as well as the foam Joe staff? Well, as well as the foam Joe staff, we also have white oak Joe staff and red oak Joe staffs, foam bow staffs and foam bokken, again really good for sparring. So just looking at dimensions of the Joe staff, so this is exactly the same length as a Joe staff as you'd expect. So it's 50 inches or 127 centimeters. As I said, the width is much wider than a standard Joe staff. So this is 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters. So just looking at the weight, this weighs in at just over 500 grams. As promised at the beginning of the video, here is a short montage of people training with the foam Joe staff. Thanks very much for watching. I hope it was useful. I hope you learned loads about the foam Joe staff we have for sale at Enso Martial Arts. If you like this video, remember to click the little icon, subscribe to this channel and get all the latest videos and updates from Enso Martial Arts. Thanks very much and I'll see you soon. Cheers!